In the chaotic digital wilderness of cryptocurrency, there is one golden rule, repeated like a mantra by everyone who has survived. Not your keys, not your crypto. The solution, we are told, is a hardware wallet. A tiny physical fortress for your digital wealth. A device you can hold in your hand, engineered with one purpose: to keep your private keys offline, untouchable, and completely under your control. We buy them from trusted companies. We treat them like precious objects. They are the final word in security, but what if the fortress was built by the enemy? What if the gift of ultimate security was, in fact, the most sophisticated trap you've ever encountered? Someone hands you a free, beautifully engineered crypto hardware wallet. You won't believe the malicious, microscopic secret hidden inside the silicon itself. A secret that waits patiently for you to trust it, and then, in an instant, burns your entire fortune to the ground. This is the story of the Trojan Vault. Leo was not a crypto tourist. At 32, he was a true believer. The front-end developer had spent the last 4 years immersing himself in the world of blockchain, decentralization, and digital assets. He had navigated the bull runs and survived the crypto winters. He had carefully accumulated a portfolio that had recently crossed the six-figure mark, a life-changing sum of Bitcoin and Ethereum that represented his entire savings and his hope for the future. He knew the security protocols by heart. He used strong, unique passwords. He enabled two-factor authentication on every exchange. And he knew, with absolute certainty, that the time had come to move his assets off the vulnerable online exchanges and into cold storage. He needed a hardware wallet. It was at CryptoCon 2024 in Miami that the perfect solution seemed to fall right into his lap. The conference hall was a cacophony of hype and innovation. Leo was wandering through the maze of booths when one caught his eye. It was sleek, minimalist, and professional. The name on the banner read, Cortexa Security. A friendly, well-dressed woman named Evelyn greeted him. "Are you serious about asset security?" she asked, with a confident smile. Evelyn explained that Cortexa was a new Swiss security startup, and they were beta testing their revolutionary new hardware wallet, the Cortexa Vault. It was beautiful. Milled from a single piece of brushed aluminum, it felt cool and substantial in his hand, far more premium than the plastic devices offered by the leading brands. "Our proprietary chip," Evelyn said, tapping the device, "generates a level of cryptographic randomness that is years ahead of the competition. We're giving a limited number of beta units to serious investors at the conference for feedback. All we ask is that you use it and let us know what you think. Free? A premium, next-generation hardware wallet for free? This is the first psychological trigger, the illusion of exclusivity and value." Leo didn't feel like he was getting a cheap handout. He felt like he was being selected, like he was an insider getting early access to a groundbreaking piece of tech. He was impressed. He took the box, beautifully packaged like a new iPhone, and thanked Evelyn profusely. He felt a jolt of excitement, the thrill of being in the right place at the right time. Back in his hotel room, Leo was cautious. He was no fool. He wasn't going to move his entire life savings onto an untested device immediately. He decided to put the Cortexa Vault through its paces. He unboxed it. The setup process was smooth and intuitive, guided by a clean interface on his laptop. The device instructed him to generate a new wallet. A list of 24 words, his secret recovery phrase or seed phrase, appeared on the device's small screen. This phrase was the master key to his funds. He wrote it down meticulously on a piece of paper, checking it twice, and stored it in a secure location. He set a strong PIN code. Everything felt normal, professional, secure. Next, he performed a test transaction. He sent 0.01 ETH, about $50, from his online exchange account to his new Cortexa Vault address. The transaction confirmed quickly. He plugged in the device, entered his PIN, and there it was. His balance of 0.01 ETH displayed on the screen. He waited. For 3 days, he checked the wallet. The $50 was still there. He logged into a public blockchain explorer and looked up the address. He could see his funds sitting there, untouched. He even performed a small withdrawal, sending a few dollars worth of ETH back to the exchange. The transaction was signed on the device and went through flawlessly. The device worked. It was legitimate. His skepticism slowly melted away, replaced by a growing confidence. The Trojan Vault had passed his tests and earned his trust. On a Sunday evening, he decided it was time. He sat down at his desk, his heart beating a little faster. This was it. The final step to securing his future. One by one, he initiated the transfers. First, his Bitcoin. Then his Ethereum. He watched the transactions confirm on the blockchain, his assets moving from the vulnerable world of the internet to the cold, offline safety of the metal vault in his hand. When the last transaction was confirmed, a profound sense of relief washed over him. It was done. His wealth was finally safe, protected by a 24-word phrase that only he knew, on a device that was physically disconnected from the world. He felt untouchable. 2 weeks passed. Leo was on a video call with a friend, another crypto enthusiast, and he decided to show off his new, ultra-secure setup. "You've got to see this Cortexa wallet," he said, holding it up to the camera. "It makes the other guys look like toys." He plugged the device into his computer to demonstrate how it worked. He opened the wallet's desktop app. He entered his PIN. The screen loaded, and his blood turned to ice. BTC balance, 0.00000 ATH balance. 0.0000000 is impossible. A glitch. It had to be a glitch. His hands shaking, he frantically disconnected and reconnected the device. The same result. 0. A cold wave of nausea rose in his throat. He stumbled to the drawer where he kept his recovery phrase. Maybe he could restore it on another wallet. But first, he did what every crypto user does in a panic. He copied his public wallet address and pasted it into the blockchain explorer. The page loaded, and the story of his ruin was written there in cold, immutable code. He saw his large deposits arriving 2 weeks prior. He saw the final balance, the sum of his life's savings. And then he saw it. A single transaction, dated just 10 minutes after his final deposit had confirmed. A transaction he had never authorized. A transaction that had drained every last fraction of his Bitcoin and Ethereum and sent it to a single, unknown address. But how? The device had been unplugged, sitting in a drawer. His recovery phrase was safe on a piece of paper in his apartment. No one could have known it. No one could have accessed his vault, and then the horrifying truth dawned on him. The thief wasn't someone who had broken into his vault. The thief was the vault itself. Leo was the victim of one of the most diabolical scams in the crypto space, the supply chain attack. The Cortexa Vault was not a security device. It was a sophisticated digital predator, engineered from the silicon up to betray him. Here is the malicious secret hidden inside the device, the secret they never want you to know. The malicious chip, the proprietary chip Evelyn had bragged about, was indeed special. It was designed with a malicious backdoor. 1. Pre-generated seed phrases. The 24-word recovery phrase the device gave Leo was not random. The chip did not generate it. It simply read it from a pre-loaded list of thousands of phrases stored in its firmware. The scammers at Cortexa had a copy of every single seed phrase their wallets would ever produce. The moment Leo wrote his secret phrase down, it was already known by the enemy. 2. The smart contract trigger. The wallet's firmware was programmed with a sinister logic. It was designed to ignore small test balances. But when the total value of the assets deposited into the wallet crossed a certain threshold, say, $10,000, a secret trigger was activated. The device, using the private key it already knew, would automatically create and sign a transaction to sweep the entire balance to the scammer's pre-programmed address the very next time it was connected to the internet. Leo's careful test was useless. In fact, it was part of the trap. By confirming that a small amount was safe, he was lulled into a false sense of security, believing the device was trustworthy. The trap wasn't designed to catch the small fish. It was waiting for the whale. When Leo tried to find Cortexa security, he found nothing. The website was gone. The conference organizers informed him the booth had been registered by a shell company with a fake address. Evelyn and her team were ghosts. They had likely hit dozens of other serious investors at the conference before disappearing forever. How to protect yourself from the Trojan Vault. Never. Ever use a free hardware wallet. Ever. A legitimate, secure hardware wallet from a reputable company like Ledger or Trezor costs between $70 and $200. That is not an expense. That is the cheapest insurance policy you will ever buy for your digital assets. Only buy directly from the manufacturer's official website. Do not buy from Amazon, eBay, or any third-party reseller. Do not accept one as a gift unless it is still in its verifiably tamper-proof packaging from the factory. A compromised supply chain is a huge risk. You need to know that no one has touched the device between the factory and you. Asterisk trust but verify. When you set up a new wallet, you can use advanced techniques to verify the seed phrase it generates is truly your own and not from a known list. But the simplest defense is the first one. Only use hardware from trusted sources. Asterisk. If it seems too good to be true, it is. A brand new company giving away a product that is supposedly better and more expensive than the industry leaders? That is a gigantic red flag. In the world of security, you pay for trust and reputation, not for flashy new tech from an unknown source. Leo's wealth wasn't stolen by a clever hacker who bypassed his security. It was stolen by his own desire to get a good deal, his own excitement at being an insider. He willingly walked his life savings into a beautifully designed cage and locked the door himself. In the digital world, the most dangerous gifts are the ones that promise perfect security for free. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next dimension.